Well, as we hit the final 2 games of the season, mid-table and completely safe from relegation, I think we can all agree none of us thought the Championship would be this straightforward. The question is this just like first season, yeah, you can have a mid-table now and then really suffer next year? Or are we going to be in a position to push on next year as we start to move closer towards life with our lovely new stadium? Hello and welcome to part 96 of Backing the Boro. I'm Kevin. Coming up on today's episode, we have our final 2 games of the season. They're both away games, so we're probably going to lose them. Away against Burton and away against Hull. Since you were last with me, form kind of took a little bit of a nosedive. We played quite a few games. We were never really in any danger of relegation, which is why I've gone through like 8 games or so, because it seemed like overkill stringing this out over the course of the rest of the season. The one thing that has been notable of this little run of games has been the real emergence of Dan Fisher as a Championship quality striker. 3 goals, 2 goals, 2 goals, goal. So what's that? 3, 5, 7, 8. So Dan Fisher has 9 goals in his last 5 games, and he's now on 19 goals from 31 appearances for the season, and presumably now our top scorer. If we just have a little look at the records page, players. Yeah, Dan Fisher, after giving it up to Lee Weaver for a year, Dan Fisher has now re-established himself as our top scorer for this season. Although he does need at least 1 goal today to make sure that we stay above 20 goals for our top scorer, as we've been every year since that first year, all the way back when Ashley Chambers only got 18 goals. So let's get into the team for today's game. The game thinks we're safe from relegation. I don't know if I'm missing something. I don't think it's mathematical yet. So I'm playing my proper team today. And then in the last game, we'll play Sir Tom Elliott for his final ever appearance. In fact, should we play him? Forget that. We're going to play him in both games. The game thinks we're safe. Where is he? Where are you, Sir Tom? Sir Tom Elliott, number 12. I don't know if it's going to let us retire his number 12 shirts. But, oh, what a career this man has had. There is still no way to offer him a staff role. I'm going to go through this one more time just so you can all see that it's just not possible. He doesn't say he doesn't want to be staff, but there's just no way to offer him staff. We can't suggest anything on here. If we go on to interaction and advice, we can't... Oh! How do I get back there? That's the first time that's ever been there. Sir Tom! Sir Tom, you want to be my assistant manager? I do want to stay in football. I want to be a scout. Yes! Do that then. Be a scout. Sir Tom! This is amazing. Sir Tom, we can send him on a coaching course. No, we can't afford to send him on a coaching course. Right, can we offer him a new contract? Sir Tom! It might not be the end. You've seen that before. That has really not been there in the past. But we need to get him some games. Get into the team, Sir Tom. I guess the sensible thing is to get him in for either Barber or Skelton, who potentially won't be here next year. Right, Barber, is he here next year? I don't know if we've extended his loan for another year, or is he out? We might be signing Barber permanently in the summer. That's what I'm hoping to do. Skelton's definitely not going to be here, though. So we may as well bring Sir Tom in for Skelton. Get him in the Carolero position. In fact, no. Sir Tom, be a Mazzala. Why not? And this is the team. So we've got Mitchell in goal. A back four of Anderson, Hughes, Sawyer and Ibrahim. Barber, Longdon and Sir Tom Elliott in midfield, with Ball in behind Symes and Fisher. If you make it through today's episode, the final games of Sir Tom Elliott without a tear in your eye, you're a monster. What a career this man has had. What a Nuneaton hero he's had. And in a moment's time, he'll have played for us in every division from the National League North up to the Championship. It's a real shame he wasn't 5 years younger and in a position to take us all the way into the Premier League like Joe Anderson will be. But goodness me, Sir Tom, I hope we can get you as part of our backroom staff now. I don't really want him to be a scout. I want him to be sat with me at training every day so that he can teach people how to be as awesome as he is. So I mean, if it gets him into the club, it keeps him here. He can be a scout for now while we spend every couple of months trying to convince him to become a coach or assistant manager or director of football or whatever. Once we've got him agreeing to stay in football, then we've got a chance of keeping him around the club forever, and he can be part of the awesomeness that is still to come. Right, ball. Somebody get the ball to Sir Tom Elliott. I mean, imagine if he gets a goal in today's episode. I might cry if Sir Tom Elliott scores today. Oh, right. Come on, let's compose ourselves. Because is it mathematical that we're there, that we're safe? As it stands right now, I mean, if it finishes as it is now, we're 6 points clear of a game to go. So unless we lose and all the teams down the bottom win and bring it down to 3 points, then I think we should be okay. Oh, Sir Tom, don't get sent off and then miss the last game through suspension. That would be a horrible way to end your career. You'd have to do another season if that happens to Tom. He's already on a yellow card, presumably because he just can't keep up with the Championship. Age 34, a couple of weeks away from retiring from professional football. It's his first ever game at this level, and he probably has no idea what's going on, bless him. But I just hope we get a penalty and he slots it away. He is our penalty taker. I should probably get him on direct free kicks as well. But for today... Oh, what just happened? I mean, we've not got Nadat in goal, have we? What did Mitchell just do there? He's just let that go under him. Really slow. It was kind of straight at him and not hit very hard. Let's have an... Is he blindsided by someone? I mean, I guess there's a lot of players in his way. But you got to be very generous to let him off that one. That was just poor goalkeeping. That's all that comes down to. Right, so Tom, we need to tell him to ease in on tackles. This is going to be the first player instruction I've used in the entirety of this save so far, which I know is going to baffle some of you tactical folk. Right, ease off tackles. Don't bother closing down, Tom. Just get forward, and shoot more often. But we don't want you really anywhere near any opposition players. Just kind of float around, waiting for someone to give you the ball so you can have a shot. That's all we're looking for you for today, Sir Tom. Please don't get yourself sent off. We need to get him on direct free kicks as well, which we'll do at half time. I doubt we're going to get a direct free kick playing with 10 men as we effectively are, because poor old Sir Tom is just chugging around, no idea what's going on. We may as well have it. It reminds me of when he had that season out at right back. He doesn't have a clue what's happening, but you know, he's still Sir Tom, and the fact that he had that season out at right back and then still forced his way back into being a regular starter in central midfield, despite me writing him off like twice early on in his career, shows the resilience and the awesomeness of this man. And please, if there is anything... Apologies for that slight interruption. Ever the professional, I've just let my 2 terabyte hard drive fill up, so there was no room to record onto. I hope it's recorded the first part of this episode. I should probably check that. That probably could have been something I checked before I started recording. It has. Excellent. Won't have to empty that again for another 2 months, I guess. That's how much data we get through here. Right, half time. Get into tactics. Get onto set pieces. And we want Sir Tom Elliott taking direct free kicks from both sides. Just let him have a pop, really. Come on, Sir Tom. What role does he want to play? Let's get him into a favoured role as well. Advanced playmaker on support. You got it, Sir Tom. Do we need to redo his player instructions now? So... No, we've already got those on there. Excellent. Right. Sir Tom Elliott. A goal in this second half, please, sir. You're on penalties. You're on direct free kicks. You're playing in the preferred role, probably for the first time in his entire career. I don't remember ever using him as an attacking playmaker on support before, because it's not a role I ever really use. Certainly not in the midfield. I would use that in behind the strikers, maybe. But I don't remember ever using it in a midfield 2 or a midfield 3 at any point. But he is in his preferred role. We're doing everything we can to try and get the man a goal. Please, Sir Tom. Just imagine the reaction you would get. Oh, I would cry. I know I'd cry. Would you let me know down in the comments if you'd cry? Because I think I would. Right, let's make some changes. Ruggles is going to come on. And Weaver's going to come on. And you know what? Let's bring Skelton on as well. And Skelton can, just be a Carolero. Why not? Right. Get the ball to Sir Tom Elliott and let him do something magical with it. That's all we want. I don't care if we lose. I don't care what else happens. I don't care if he then goes and gets himself sent off afterwards to miss the last game just because he can't bring himself to play a second game because he's shattered. But I desperately want him to score a goal. We've not seen... Remember how he used to dominate games down in the conference? We have not seen him in this game at all. He's picked up a yellow card that wasn't even worthy of a highlight. And is Mitchell at fault again here? Has Mitchell already switched off for the season? Oh my word. Poor old Mitchell. I mean, we did say he was coming in for one season. So, age 34 now, Mitchell. He might be done. We might have Parker back in goal next year. It might be the return of Robbie Nadat. Or we might be able to sign a proper goalkeeper in the summer. You never know. But I don't really want to keep an old man around in the squad because the rest of the squad is so young, Sir Tom Elliott and Mitchell aside, that we probably need to be moving them both on in the summer. Well, obviously, we'd keep Sir Tom for the rest of his life if he would agree to it. But for some reason, he doesn't like the money. He's still got a year left on his contract, but has decided to give up on his £2,000 a week that we're paying him because he's worth it to pursue scouting on £200 a week for Worksop or wherever he's going because he won't discuss terms with us, which is just ridiculous. Right, come on, give it to Sir Tom. No? One more chance. He has one more opportunity to get that goal in the Championship that we so desperately want him to get. Or I desperately want him to get. You might be completely indifferent to it, but I really, really want him to score. Right, let's get into that game straight away. Joe Anderson's injured. Luckily not a proper injury. Good. No! Come on, Sir Tom. Can we give him a pain-killing injection? What was he doing jumping? We don't need him to jump in the match. We just need him to get out there and kick the ball into the goal. Here we go then. Get your tissues at the ready. It's the final appearances of probably the two best midfielders we'll have at any point during Backing the Boro this year. Sir Tom Elliott, his final appearance before retirement, and Andrew Skelton. I think at this point it's very unlikely we manage to get him back again. We had him for 2.5 years. He wouldn't come back for a year. We just couldn't get him. Against all odds, we got him back for just one more year. But Derby want to use him in their first team next season, and goodness me, you can understand why after the season he's had. 44 appearances, 5 goals, 13 assists, 4 man of the match, a 7.2 in the Championship, and Derby are on their way down back to the Championship as well, having been relegated from the Premier League. So I think we're going to see Andrew Skelton in a Derby shirt next year, as much as it saddens me, but hopefully he's got one last performance in him. A Skelton assist for a Tom Elliott finish. That's what we're looking for. We want that Sir Tom moment. There he is, look, smiling his blooming head off. Oh, it might also be the last time we ever have real faces in a starting 11 like that. Both Mitchell and Sir Tom Elliott obviously are the only real life players still in the team. I guess Joe Anderson, but doesn't have a face. But he does exist. And people tell me James Ball exists as well because they have him in their save or versions of him. But he's got a new gen face. So I don't know if it's just a name that for some reason gets given a new gen face or whatever it might be. But we might not see those little photographs in the Nuneaton team anymore. But let's just check we can't get relegated. Probably should have checked that before the match. No, we're 5 points clear. All is good. Relegation isn't going to happen. It's going to be a comfortable lower mid-table finish, which is far better than we ever could have hoped for. And now we just need that Sir Tom Elliott goal. And here he is, picking the ball up on the edge of the area, plays it to Skelton, across to Symes, back to Skelton again, plays through Symes, squared to Ball, and there's James Ball, puts us 1-0 up, 28 minutes on the clock. Talking of Nuneaton legends, James Ball has struggled a little bit this season. Know that I'm aware of that, and an attacking midfielder is on my list of areas I would like to strengthen. I mean, we haven't got our transfer budget for next year. There's every chance we're going to have to go through our normal transfer policy this summer, and I'm not really going to be able to massively strengthen in any areas, especially as we've got the new stadium to pay for. But if by any chance we do get a little bit of transfer money, or we happen to sell someone and have a little bit of spensies, I think a decent attacking midfielder, maybe a left back, a goalkeeper. Some of the areas where we've had basically any position where there's players still playing there that you remember from us playing in the conference, they're probably the positions that need strengthening if we're going to make it out of the Championship in the right direction at some point. So I think James Ball probably needs a long-term replacement. Sawyer probably needs a long-term replacement. Anderson probably needs a long-term replacement. And I think as we move into next year, you're probably going to see less of the likes of Dan Fisher and Lee Weaver and Ricky George. That's not his name. Ricky German. Who's Ricky George? Sometimes names just come out at me and I don't know who they are or why. I hope I'm not naming like mass murderers or anything like that. The name doesn't ring any bells. But Ricky German, I'd like to move on this summer if possible. He's on a lot of money. He's on $4,000 a week. So if we can move Ricky German on, and along with the Tom Elliott money, the $2,000 a week he's on, that gets freed up. There's going to be a little bit more wage budget to play with this summer, hopefully. And yeah, fingers crossed. I mean, Mitchell's not very good, is he? Mitchell is not very good. We've kind of known this for a little while. A few people have said in the comments, don't be too harsh on Mitchell, Kev. I don't think I am being too harsh. I think I'm judging him by the same criteria that you lot have been judging Robbie Nadat for the last 5 seasons. And I think if Nadat conceded the goals that Mitchell's conceded on today's episode, there would be riots down in the comments. Why are you still playing Nadat? Nadat out. Well, I don't know that he'd have done any worse than Mitchell has in these 2 matches. So perhaps it's time for Robbie Nadat to re-emerge. Still only 21, 22 years old. He's had another season of development down in our under-23 team. Might be time for him to explode back onto the scene and lead us into the Championship. He's had his year off. He's had his gap year. He did his 3 or 4 years apprenticeship. He's had his gap year. He's been on excursion. And now he's going to come back and just be an absolute superstar for us and lead us into the promised land. Right. Hull are better than we are, as every team we've played this season have been, really. I think the moment we were safe, we've kind of just disengaged from the entire process. I hope that's what it is. I hope it's just a whole mental thing. We've hit the 53 points. I said in the media, and this was probably a big mistake, yeah, we're safe now. And everyone's gone, we're safe now, who cares? I hope that's all it is, and it's not a sign that we've been figured out and next season's going to be horrible. We have had seasons like that before where we've got promoted and then it's that second season where you get thumped. It's generally how Posh do the Championship in real life. We get up, we have a decent season, we get relegated the next year. It might be how Nuneaton do the Championship as well. Who knows? But fingers crossed we can strengthen in the right areas this summer. There are a few Premier League youngsters that I've got my eye on again. We're going to have to bring in a fresh batch of loans because a lot of the loans that we're using at the moment we're not going to be able to bring back. We've obviously already got Ruggles and Symes sorted for next season, and Ibrahim is sorted for next season as well. So we've probably got 2 or 3 gaps in the squad for loans that aren't yet in place. I'd like to sign Barber permanently. I'll try again to bring Skelton in, but I don't think we've got much chance. So we're probably going to need to strengthen in midfield if we're losing both Barber and Skelton. We lost Fletcher at Christmas as well when he went back to Celtic. He's available on a free transfer, but he's already refused to discuss terms with us. We're not big enough for him. So that's probably our 3 starting central midfielders from the first half of the season. None of them are going to be here next year. Plus we lose the experience of Sir Tom Elliott and his wonderful tutoring. And there is a bit of a rebuild job needed again. Every summer there's a bit of a rebuild job needed. Right, there you go. I'm not taking Sir Tom Elliott off. I am keeping him on this football pitch in the hopes that we get that moment. Yes, we've been thumped in both of these matches today, but we don't care. We just want Sir Tom Elliott to do what Sir Tom Elliott has done so very many times before. Ruggles is through now and scores an absolute beauty. Chris Ruggles is saying, there you go, I'm your striker next year. Get me in these positions, let me do this, and I will score goals for you. And that was a beautiful finish. He looks like a proper Championship striker, and I think we need to expect a little bit more out of him for next year. One of my first orders of business of the summer is to try and extend his loan for another year. Both him and Symes already came in on 18-month loans, but if we can extend that back out to 2 years again over the summer, I think 2 years of him, he'll be right up there ready for the Premier League in 2 years' time if he carries on developing the way he appears to have been so far. 6-2. Oh, my word. We're very bad at football at the moment. Hull are only like 8th or 9th in the league. They're not even a promotion-pushing team. And they've absolutely smashed our faces off. And I think a lot of it goes down to Mitchell. How many clear-cut chances have they had? I want to see the clear-cut chance thing. They've only had 7 shots on target. 7 shots on target, they've scored 6. They've had 4 clear-cut chances, 2 half chances, and scored 6 goals. I think an awful lot of this result is laid at the hands of Mitchell. Beautiful ball from Sir Tom Elliott. He gets an assist in the final game of his career. He gets a beautiful assist. He looked like a championship player there. Look at this again from Sir Tom Elliott. You may never see him kick a ball again. If that's the last kick of a football we ever see from Sir Tom Elliott, what a way for him to go out. And what a finish from Ruggles again, who is, I mean, he's keeping us almost in the game. He's had a good game. No one else in our squad has, but Chris Ruggles came on with 20 minutes to go and has said, right, no more of this messing around, I'm your striker. Right, I kind of don't want Sir Tom to touch the ball again now unless he's going to score, because he's not going to play a more perfect pass than that one he just passed. But it would be nice for him to grab that goal, a direct free kick in the last minute. Imagine if he got the last kick of the game. He's not going to. Is there no romance in this game anymore? Goodness me, I remember when the game used to make you cry. There's Sir Tom, and he got the last kick of the match. So, standing ovation for Sir Tom Elliott from all corners of the ground. Hull won't know why they're clapping him. They'll just know they should, because a legend has departed from professional football, and I'm unwilling to experiment. Well, I mean, 12 seasons, you've just figured that out. Goodness me. Right, do we have our budgets for next year? We don't. But there you go. Nuneaton Town, Sir Tom Elliott has bowed out of football following his appearance in the club's last game of the season. After a long and successful career, which saw him become a household name at Nuneaton, Sir Tom Elliott has said that he will now hang up his boots. Nuneaton, blah, 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 blah. Thank you, Sir Tom. If you've enjoyed that, please make sure you leave a nice big thumbs up on there for us. Subscribe to the channel for daily Football Manager videos. And thank you very much for watching. And thank you, Sir Tom.